to Off Limits. Liberal, irreverent, and really, really gay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on the Off Limits show. We're doing Brain Purge tonight, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Then go and throw your hands in the sky. If people jealous cause you live your life, then go and throw your hands in the sky. See, I can't even worry about you and your insecurities. The only thing that matters is my family and G.O.D. I'm a shooting star, but my feet still on the ground. And when you're flying high, they just wanna shoot you down. I'm like a jet airplane, way too high to hear you throwing salt on my name. I know I'm not the only one. People love to hate you. Go and throw your hands up. Go ahead and spread your wings, cause you gotta fly above. I fly above all the drama. I fly above. I fly above. I fly above. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. So I fly above all the haters. I fly above. I
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me tonight here on Brain Purge, here on Spreaker.com. If you're listening to me tonight here on Spreaker, thanks for joining me tonight here on Spreaker live. So I'm doing a different setup, so I'm going to check it out and see if it works and see if people can actually hear me or not. Rose, can you hear me in the chat or not? Okay, good. Okay, sorry. Only problem about this setup is I can't mute my microphone because my microphone doesn't have a mute button on it. I have to mute it through the software, so I'll probably need to get another microphone if I keep this set up. But anyway, and hopefully I don't sound like I'm echoing too much or anything. I don't think I am, but it's hard to know for sure. So if I am, I apologize. Anyway, so if you're listening to the show and you decide that you would like to call in, tonight is a call-in show. At least I'm going to try to make it one. If you do want to call into the show, the call-in number is 214-377-0481. You can also call using Skype as well, and you can call me for free on Skype. But I'm a little loud. Okay, let me see if this helps. Sorry. Is that better? I turned it down a little bit. Is that better, Rose? Hopefully that's a little bit better. Anyway, and hopefully, am I echoing at all by any chance? I sound like I'm echoing on my side, but that might just be because I think I have the monitoring the input on, but I'm not sure if that's what it is or something else. I am echoing, or that's better. You said yes, but does that mean yes, that's better, or yes, I'm echoing in terms of the loudness? Anyway, so if you do want to call in, the number once again is 214-377-0481. I think that's right? offlimitshow.com. 377-0481. And you can also hear me live on offlimitshow.com if you prefer to listen to the show that way. You can listen to me on offlimitshow.com live during the show. You can also check out the actual archives there as well. No echo. Good. That's good. And you can also check me out on iTunes if you want to subscribe to the iTunes podcast. There's the newest podcast on iTunes, and it's got about 70 episodes on there that I've been doing on Spreaker, and there's over 200 episodes in the old iTunes podcast, so you can subscribe to one or both on there on iTunes. Check me out there. Also, you can hear me on Stitcher.com as well. So anyway, I'm all over the place, and there's all sorts of ways to sort of listen to me, but here I am. So I was thinking earlier, I was talking to somebody, a troll, in one of the chat rooms earlier, on Todd's chat room, and he was talking about how he doesn't choose sides, he doesn't pick sides, and that made me think about some things and about life in general and how we as a society really are forced to choose sides. And no one really is ever neutral. There's Switzerland, right? That country, Switzerland, over in Western Europe. That has always been neutral in wars. It doesn't fight unless it's attacked, and it itself is attacked. And so, that's why, during Hitler's occupation, they were neutral, during World War I, World War II, whatever. And since then, they've been neutral. However, I've never had much respect for neutrality as a concept. I really don't think that being neutral in a sort of a debate or sort of war, it doesn't, to me, give someone any credence. It, to me, is sort of someone without a backbone, someone who doesn't stand for something. And I don't like people who don't stand for something. I like people who stand for something. And I stand for a lot of things. And if you listen to my show, I stand for a bazillion different causes. And I stand firm on my beliefs in those things because I've weighed both sides of the coin and I've decided on one. I'm not somebody who's a fence sitter and just sits on the fence and says, "Oh, I'm not into this. I'm out of this. It's between you two or you four or you five or whatever." So this troll I was talking to in the chat room on Todd's show earlier was saying that he was not involved. And the truth is he is involved. And the truth is he is part of the problem by going back and forth and sort of playing both sides. So I simply try my hardest to, stay out of it, he says, or whatever. But the reality is he helps exacerbate the problem. So I wanted to talk tonight about standing for something and talking about standing up for what you believe in and how important it is to do that. And what would have happened if so many different times in our history, whether it's our personal history or the world history as a whole, we didn't stand up for our belief? What would have changed or what would not have changed as a result of us remaining neutral? And is it always a good idea to stay neutral? Is it always a good idea to remain in the middle and never have a side or choose a side just for peace's sake? So, and for me, look, I think what I would love in terms of life in general, I'm not talking about any particular situation here in my life or anyone else's, but I have always wanted to, I'm a peaceful person. I honestly am. And, I've talked about this before in my show, and I'll briefly retouch on it, I should say, is that I am intrinsically peaceful. I'm intrinsically someone who strives for peace between people. Harmony, I guess, is a better word. And so when I was a little boy, I was that way. As a teenager, I was that way. And as an adult, I'm that way. But the only thing is, I'm also someone who's extremely, extremely opinionated, and someone who's extremely, extremely confident in his position on matters. So, for example, if someone treats me wrong, then I come back at them the same way they came at me. And so in those instances, of course, peace is out the door. But I'm somewhat like Switzerland to some degree, in that I don't attack unless I'm attacked. I don't really go after people unless they come after me. And I'm someone who really honestly doesn't do that. So if people leave me the fuck alone, I don't go after them. I don't have any, to me, they just don't exist. Whether it's someone I like or don't like, or someone was once in my life and isn't now or whatever. To me, they just no longer exist anymore. I just act as if they don't. And I don't think about them ever. But if someone's, continually coming at you, it's impossible to do that, and impossible to maintain peace within your own realm, per se. So I believe in standing up for oneself when one is attacked, whether it's verbally or physically or whatever, because it is the only way that you can command respect. Command the respect that you deserve as a human being and as an individual, or spiritually, if you believe you're in spirituality, or as a spirit. So I have striven to always stand up for myself, and I always have. And my mother, when I was growing up, was always my mother and my grandmother were very, my mother would always stand up for things, and for me specifically. My grandmother was very much a peacemaker and just felt like, no matter what, it's important to maintain the peace and sweep things under the rug and not talk about them, blah, blah, blah. That's how she dealt with things. And I was always the one to cause trouble. And what I mean by that, and how I mean that, is when someone would do something that was disrespectful to my mother or to my grandmother or to me, I would stand up for myself, my mother, or my grandmother, or my friends or family, whomever it might be that was being disrespected or hurt in some way. I stood up for them verbally, and I would stand up for them and say, that's not okay. Don't do that. You can't do that on my watch, or stay the fuck away from me, or whatever. I would be very verbal and very direct about what I expected them to do and how I expected to be treated as a human being. I stood up for myself and said, this is how I, as a human being, demand to be treated, with respect. You either treat me this way or get the fuck out of my life. And I said that to people I knew as friends. I said it to family members, and I've never regretted doing those things and acting that way, because the one thing I think every human being wants is to be heard and understood and respected. I think every human being needs those things and wants those things. And without those things, it's impossible to maintain peace, because peace doesn't always mean you just, and really, in my opinion, never really does, means that you just sweep things under the rug and you act as if these things don't exist. Peace actually, hold on, there we go. Peace actually is something that's important for maintaining your sanity. Hold on a second. Let me see if this is working here. We got a phone call. Can you guys hear me?